that. That's going to give you an idea. Good morning, kids. And as I was discussing with you, we have covered about cyclones. We have understood about tornadoes, thunderstorms. But these three are so closely related terms. I have posted a video in your WhatsApp group. Please try to go through that video to get a clear picture of how cyclones are caused. Prior to cyclones and thunderstorms, we have covered two of the conditions which result into all these. That was uneven heating of equator and the poles, and the second one was uneven heating of land and water. These two are the major factors that will result into the formation of thunderstorms, and these thunderstorms only result into cyclones. And you can say one of the way the cyclone takes the shape of tornado, if you say it's okay. Let's understand the difference between the two. There is a slight difference between the first one. We have understood that the rain or the water drops when they fall down, and the swift air rises up. We understood that this was the condition of the thunderstorm. Now, if this is happening on the surface of sea, we usually call them as tropical region cyclones. Generally, these cyclones, the big cyclones in the sea, they occur in that tropical region. From equator to almost near to the Cancer, there in between that belt only these cyclones they occur. That is the same condition of the thunderstorm, wherein the water is warm and the water vapor rises up. And once these water vapors, lots of the water vapors on the surface of the sea, they are rising up. They start condensing exactly before the formation of the cloud. Water vapor forms the water droplets, and water droplets form the water drop. Water droplets, you can say water droplets equals to cloud, it's okay. Once they start condensing, they start forming small particles of water. They start releasing heat. Condensation process releases heat. Now, if this condensation is happening and it is forming water droplets, this phenomenon releases heat. And this heat released actually warms up the air around even more. So at a particular height, you can imagine on the surface of the water at a particular height, the air is becoming warmer and warmer. And due to that, what happens, you know very well that warm air rises up. So if there is a vacuum of air almost created in this region, the vacuum, and that results in a low pressure area. This low pressure area invites the winds of high pressure form all around. So these high pressure winds, they rush to fill this. So it is surface structure is somewhat like this, that these cyclones will have a central area, the eye of the cyclone. It exactly appears like an eye only. The video I have posted to try to observe. It's been the natural cyclone, and there they have done the animation. Exactly the eye, the central part wherein this is the low pressure area.
Ma'am, please side.
And around the low pressure area revolves the high pressure winds. Now, why do they go in a circular way? Because of of the rotation of the earth, this air is actually going round and round around the low pressure area, and this forms the cyclone. Now, if we try to observe from the top these images from any of the satellites, the structure appears somewhat like this. This Milky Way we have seen almost like this. There is a central hole, and there you see this waves around. If you are viewing it from the top, the cyclone appears so. And these cyclones, once they reach near to the coastal area, they create damage there. Now, why do they create damage? Again, the same understanding we want to know, that in cyclones, a low pressure area actually invites the high pressure winds. And due to that, what happens? The high pressure winds, they rise up. And if that is rising up on the surface of the water, it takes water with it, and water also rises up. So water rising up, that means you can say that these cyclones, they carry almost a wall of water in them, going in a circular way. They carry a wall of water inside them, and that water they splash once they go near to the coastal area. They pour in, they throw, they slash water. And that water, that with strong winds, see, once there are these thunderstorms in an area, they create damage. Like they have created all over Rajasthan this time. Heavy rains, thunderstorms. Now that force, that means the force of it, there is a strong wind, very, very strong wind that creates a hell of a damage. But if this wind is accompanied by water, there are two forces of nature altogether. The damage is much, much more. Because the wind speed is too high. The wind speed is too high that it can create devastations, destructions once it passes near to the coastal areas. At times it happens that most of this wind, we have covered that goes around 200 kilometers. So once it passes near to the coastal areas, that damages that part. Water as well as air. Yes, this definitely happens that this cyclone, once it is traveling on the surface of the water, it carries that wall of water, as I said. And that wall of water splashes on the coastal area, and then afterwards, of course, it subsides. The reason on land it will not find that water which it carries along with it. Cyclones, second thing. The third one we are supposed to understand is about tornado. This is all about, this was about the thunderstorm, and this was about the cyclones. And here, of course, is the last one for tornado. We are going to understand that in different places at times the different names are also given to them. This you can say is an extreme case of cyclone on land. On land. That means even if I say cyclone minus water, I am right. Meaning, like we were discussing it yesterday, they are like funnel-like air. Here we have discussed that there is this low pressure area surrounded by high pressure wind going inwards in round and round motion, and with that it has carried water also. So that makes a cyclone. But if there is no water and there is this low pressure area of air in the center, and it has this high pressure winds moving around, that forms a tornado. On land, it moves on land. So almost the shape on the neck, if you see on land, you start seeing this image that it is almost like funnel-like structure. Almost you feel like touching the sky, and here it is touching the ground. it moves in circular way. Circular way. In some of the places, most of you are, you are writing in some of the places, it may be named as a hurricane or any other name. Basically, it is a tornado. There are many names, so let's not get confused between all of them. 3 names we must keep in mind. The first one is the thunderstorm, that is totally different, that got segregated, separate. Okay, wherein what we saw was that high speed winds were rising up and these water droplets were falling down. So that of course is a thunderstorm, that got separated there itself. Now cyclone and tornado. Cyclone, if it is covering a distance of, say for example 200 kilometers and more than that, then that is definitely on the surface of the water, sea, oceans. Specifically, we call them as tropical cyclones, because it happens in those oceans only where they lie in the belt of tropical region. That means equator to this Tropic of Cancer, those are both the sides of the equator it happens. And there, this big whirl of this circular water and air movement towards the coastal areas creates a lot of damage. And if it is a low pressure area surrounded with high pressure winds on land I repeat, then that is a tornado. Here in the case of cyclones, the wind speed may go up to like 150 to 250 kilometers per hour. That's very high speed. Okay, on the surface of the sea, air and water both. Definitely low pressure surrounded by high pressure. Correct. In case of tornado, low pressure surrounded by high pressure winds, and this funnel-like structure, it moves on the surface of Earth for some time and then it subsides on its own. It need not hit any surface. The moment this low pressure area in the center goes off, it is reduced, it starts developing some air in it. There are some incidents which are quoted in a textbook, and if you find on net, there are practical incidents wherein some people have gone through this tornado. The people who were living in that area wherein tornado warnings are given repeatedly, and by mistake they must have missed that warning and they were caught in tornado. There are tornado shelters, cyclones shelters are there. In some of the places in US, they make every house in that area will have this underground basement for their safety. The moment they get the warning, they keep their radio on always, because the meteorological department is going to give them repeated warnings that there is this thunderstorm or cyclone or this tornado is approaching. In general, they face these tornadoes in their area. Immediately they move down with their family and they cover that, because that is almost like a concrete underground room with all the facilities in it. Right from refrigerator, food, water, everything. They have to keep it ready every time, just like any other room, because that is the room which is going to keep them alive once the tornadoes reach their neighborhood. So there are some practical experiences what people have shared, that if someone has been caught exactly in the eye of the tornado, they basically were risen from the bottom. They almost like flying without any wings to certain height. They were not harmed because it's a vacuum, so they simply rose up from the ground to a particular level. Yes, of course. Along with their houses, they felt that they are safe in their houses. They forgot to go, or they just didn't listen to the warnings carefully. That story they didn't share, but they just told that once they were caught in the tornado, they rose up high without any scratch on their body. And then, of course, once the tornado subsided down, they fell down to the ground. That actually had hurt them. And some of the animals, for example, some of their birds, maybe this hen, chicken, some of them, these birds, they also were taken up with the winds, but they actually were caught in this high-speed revolving winds. And in this high-speed revolving wind, all their wings were removed completely. Their rabbits, they were saying that it is a view as though they have been de-skinned. Their upper part of the body, the skin, upper part of the skin has been completely removed because the friction is so high in the revolving winds. In general, the areas which are very, very prone to tornadoes, they do listen to the warnings, and there is this local method. The empty cans, the empty juice cans, they hang with the wires outside their home. Why it happens so? Because the moment the wind speed increases, they start hitting each other, creating tremendous amount of sound that you cannot sleep. And that they take as a warning, and they moved on to the basement. These tornadoes can be so dangerous and devastating that they can remove whole of the village. They can completely hit an area and damage all the structures they were standing on the surface of that. So in such cases, wherein these tornadoes are too strong, concrete buildings are still safe. But in some of the cases, it was observed that the tornado speed was so strong, the vacuum in the center was so strong that it has damaged even the roofs of concrete buildings, like those of school buildings or other buildings. Of course, the warnings were issued and the people moved out from those places. But those buildings were damaged to a very, very great extent. Once it has passed down over the roof of that particular school, and that was totally ruined. Everything was damaged in that building. So that is the dangerous part in case of tornadoes. This completes for the difference between all the three. I hope you must have understood by now what is the difference between the three. There are n number of names given to cyclones and tornadoes. Please don't go for them, otherwise you will be confused which definition should be written for what. So we'll stick to these three only. Okay, thunderstorms totally different, and then we have understood about cyclones on the surface of water with the eye in the center, and then tornadoes on the surface of the ground, funnel shaped, high speed moving winds that creates damage on land. Now let's write down what precautions we must be taking if you are in a cyclone prone area. So we are writing that, and please write down that first of all. Extra question 8, that would be extra question 8. What precautions we must take if a storm is accompanied by lightning. This is about the thunderstorm and the lightning, the precautions we are supposed to take up. And for answer, the first point is, do not take shelter under. Do not take shelter under a tree. umbrella or an umbrella with a metallic end. With a metallic end. Do not sit near a window. Sit near a window. Open garages. Storage sheds. Storage sheds. Metal sheds. Are not safe place. Are not safe places to take shelter. And of course, a car, a bus, or a building. A car, a bus, that means a closed vehicle it should be. Okay? A car, a bus, or a building, is a safe place to take shelter. Is a safe place to take shelter. So basically that should be a closed place where you are taking the shelter. Should not be open area. Do not try to lie down anywhere. The moment this thunderstorm is heard, make sure that you are reaching to a safe place. And we all know very well. Recently also we have covered about that these cyclones, they can cause a lot of damage. More than thunderstorms. Thunderstorms you can say stand nowhere. The amount of damage a cyclone can cause. Well, anyways, even if there is this warning, weather warnings are given time and again, specifically to the people who are living near coastal areas. Repeated warnings are given. You must have heard it saying these news announcers on television that the warnings have been issued and the people have been moved from this cyclone prone areas to the safer places. These areas were vacated and people were shifted. This you must have heard in news channels many times. So basically we want to keep the people safe from these cyclones. Warnings must be heard and taken care of very, very properly. And some of the emergency numbers we must always keep just in case if we or our neighbors land up in any problem. So this was about the thunderstorm and its precautions we are supposed to take up. And you must also understand that the destructions caused by cyclones are so severe. The eye of the cyclone, the vacuum, you can say, the low pressure area, can lift this ball of water, as I was talking to you about, that can rise up to 12 meters in height. That's a very, very big amount. And this cyclic pathway, once it reaches to the coastal area, there it does not get the continuous supply of water from the bottom, and there only it subsides down, or you can say it ends up. But these cyclones, once they hit any of the coastal area, they not only bring tremendous amount of sea water or the oceanic water to the land, kills many humans, takes many lives, damages many structures. The structures that are formed near the coastal area, they have been damaged many a times. Electrical lines, big trees, they fall down. Communication is hampered. There is a lot of damage, you can say, to the life and of course economic loss. The loss of money, the loss of business. So that is the main drawback of these cyclones. Do they occur every now and then? No. They need specific conditions. You can say that extreme conditions of thunderstorms on the surface of sea or ocean. And these conditions are created because of the heating of sun. And specifically, here we are talking about the difference in heat near equator and when we are going from equator towards the poles. So this is one of the major reasons. And that, in addition to that, you can say adding the cherry on the cake is the rotation of the earth. That shifts the winds from north to south, from south to north. These winds could have come straight, but with the rotation of the earth, they are slightly tilted, like I had explained yesterday. And that tilt of the wind actually goes in whirls round and round around this low pressure area. The larger the cyclone, the major will be the damage done to the coastal areas. We are living in Rajasthan, so we are very safe from all these cyclonic effects. And whenever we are discussing about tornadoes, to keep safe from tornadoes, again the condition is same, that there are places wherein these tornadoes are bound to happen. We don't face them in Rajasthan, but there are specific regions near the tropical area, it has to happen. In that case, of course, these are the low pressure area, air surrounded by high pressure, air moving in circular path. With structure is a bit different. The tornadoes will be a bit smaller at the base and they are bigger at the top because the winds are going up. So the shape is almost like a funnel. Warnings given by the meteorological department are very essential to these people, and they must be very cautious about it. Keeping an eye always on whether the conditions are changing around them or not, and taking precautions accordingly. Taking shelter in a safe place is a must. So that's all what we have covered today about cyclones and comparing them with tornadoes, the damage they can do, the difference between the two, and of course what precautions we must be taking for thunderstorms. In the next lecture, tomorrow's lecture, I am going to deal with the precautions that we are supposed to take if you are staying in a cyclone prone area. Till that time, happy learning kids. Take care. Stay safe.